Hi there. Welcome back to Tarot by Janine. How's everybody doing? I'm doing good. I got a cool question that Guy posed. Guy, if you don't know who Guy is, if you're new with the channel, maybe he'll put a little pop-up about himself. He and I started the channel together, I think 3 years, going on 4 years ago. And he does all of the editing and helps me with words not to say and words that I can say. He keeps up with all the background noise going on YouTube, and we co-plan a lot of what we're going to be talking about. And Guy used to film all the videos and all kinds of stuff. He's a big part of the channel. You just don't see him. Hi, Guy. Anyway, he really likes talking about the Secret Space Program. So I want to talk about the Secret Space Program, vaguely, or what a lot of people say, is that it was a carryover from programs that were started likely throughout or towards the end of WW2. So the scientists that were working on things in that secret space program carried on their work in the US, apparently. And that happened in lots of areas, actually, in WW2, which was interesting because that soldier I channeled just the other day was basically saying that. So anyway, the secret space program was started. And to me, that seems like it had a questionable start, not in integrity, let's say, if it came out of that. And these people had to be snuck into the country, when they might well have been put on trial otherwise. We're pretty clear that there is a secret space program running and operating. I want to ask, who's in charge of it now? Are there still, that sounds really, so the origins of it sound pretty interesting. Okay, so is that bunch still running it? Or do we have, good intentions? And then we'll get into details like, so what do they do? What do they got going on? We know things are way ahead of what we're told, obviously. I really want to know, do they have colonies on Mars, on Venus, Jupiter? What's going on? Were they planning for things like that? Is that where they're going to be shipping out? Is that where everybody's going to be scooting off to? These colonies? Is that why the secret space program was started in the first place? Was to create ways to exist out in the universe? Just all kinds of questions come up. So we'll just see what the universe wants to tell us about the secret space program, starting with who's in charge. So it does look like there was some kind of battle over who's in charge. And I believe the good guys look like they're in charge, because when I've been getting that 9 of Cups, it's like who you wish is in charge is in charge. Well, I would definitely wish the good guys are in charge. So I believe the good guys are in charge, but I feel like there's still some bad apples kicking around in the program and some compromised people, obviously, because that would be a really big program, I would think. And a lot of people would not just bend and go on the good guys, even if the good guys infiltrated over a period of time. Okay, so we've got the Star in the past. So it feels like it was in a delicate place for a while, or let's say a vulnerable place. And it was infiltrated by good guys, but there's still some bad apples. So there's sort of a bit of a battle, it feels like. And so here we've got the 4 of Pentacles. So the 4, we know so little about really what they've been up to. 4 of Pentacles says they haven't even begun to disclose what they got. This program is deep and full of secrets. So the title is very fitting, Secret Space Program. Okay, so here we've got the Hanged Man there, and the 5. I feel like it's going to take some time, maybe months, to really get all the bad apples out of that program. So they, just for them to even surface and show themselves and show their true colors, because it was started by dark intentioned beings or humans. Well, we don't know if they were all humans, but definitely it was started by people with a lot of secrets and hidden agendas, if it came out of WW2. Okay, so yeah, so much cover up here. So it's going to take time for this to fully become for the people, this organization. That's an ongoing thing, but I feel like it will. Okay, so now let's ask, well, what the heck do they do? So it looks like they're active. It looks like they're in a bit of a flux right now because it's sort of changing hands. So let's just look around. Do they have colonies? Are they growing food underground, in the universe, in things that orbit the Earth? Like, what are they up to? Like, are they planning off-world? My biggest question: off-world colonies. Let's look at that. 4 and 2 4s on the bottom there. 4 and 4 and a 3. It's something they're absolutely looking at. It's something they're looking at. I'm not sure they're doing it yet, though. Or they're 60% to having built some colonies here, because this doesn't look like a completion. This looks like a work in progress. So I'm thinking they are working towards that. That's something they're working on. I feel like they had a lot accomplished at one point, but it all got wiped out or something. So I wonder if that was in some kind of a tussle or takeover of the program. Like, it feels like they were working on it. They were really close, and then it all got swept out from under their feet. Something like that. So they're rebuilding and structuring and working towards. So it's something they're working on. And of course, it's all very secretive with that card there. There's so much going on. But this is interesting. It's interesting because it's a secret space program, but I get a lot of things happen under our feet. So, wow, if anybody knows what I'm talking about there, let me know if you've heard anything. But they've got things going on underground that attaches itself to the secret space program. So that's interesting. Okay, so we've got the King of Pentacles here and okay, so at some point they ran into money trouble, it looks like, and they had to refinance and restructure, and that's why some of those colonies didn't get all the way built. Okay, but now everything's changing, and there's a whole bunch of influx of positive energy, and I feel like very quickly, even within the year, they're going to have colonies in different places. Let's have a look at where. Let's try to get a feel for where are we talking. What I thought about that was maybe it's not shaped the way we think it is. There's a giant constructed thing that we call the moon. This is what my imagination went to. So we see it as this round, lifeless sort of entity that travels around the earth. And so the moon's a big mystery, but we'll have to do a whole show we'll have to deep dive on the moon. Okay, so we're looking at where are these colonies set to be with this secret space program. So it looks like they're building colonies. Where are they planning these things? It looks like a few of the places they chose aren't going to work out. We've got some disappointments where they had to, they started, attempted, and then things didn't work out. A couple of 5s there, and they had to reconfigure. I'm thinking Mars is one. So I wonder if they ran into trouble on Mars, trying to set up a colony on Mars. And they lost a lot of really good people in the program. So trouble on Mars So the moon does look like one. Okay, the Queen of Cups. That feels like the moon to me. The moon. Okay, so somehow something's got to be going on there where they can actually step onto it. Okay, so I'm going to say the moon is another one. And actually the moon looks like they've struggled a lot. They've had lots of battles. This is a sort of a military kind of card. So they've had to battle for space or territory on the moon or whatever. But I feel like that's one that's absolutely, they're almost finished up one of their colonies there. So the moon is habitable, it looks like, somehow, with what technology they're hiding from us, and they already have. They're having trouble with the workers working on these colonies in outer space. They're having a lot of stress around the workers right now. Interesting. The Death card and Justice. Wow. Okay. A lot of people are being brought to justice who were involved in the secret space program. And I feel like it's taken a lot of their really big sort of scientists out of the program. So those scientists might have been involved in some activities where they're facing justice here. So they've lost some really big, maybe the people that created the ideas or the blueprints in the first place, something like that. So there's some adjustment, and that's part of the holdup. Part of the holdup is a shifting of who's actually doing the work and or designing the colonies. So what's the time frame they're expecting to be able to, like, projecting to be able to actually bring groups of people there? How does that look? Well, it looks like it started out when it was in the hands of dark players, dark hats. Okay, when it was in the hands of, so these colonies were created originally by the Bad Bunch. Okay, and when it was in their hands, I feel like they were just going to send up communities of people made up of individuals. But now they're thinking more that it would be healthier, I feel like. So in the new sort of management, feels like the whole world's going to be under new management, and that includes this secret space program. Everything's in flux and under new management when you look at it. So just saying. Anyway, so they're thinking more themes. They will be thinking, and even like generations of family members. So that's interesting. And there's still a lot of things to work out though. And there's still a lot of, problems to solve before they can really, but I'm thinking here, time-wise, let's have a look here. Let me just see if I can get that. Wow, well, there's a lot of surrender and worry cards. So I feel like things could get held up. Then all of it, and what's holding it up right now, I think has a lot to do with the big plan that went into action. You know what I'm talking about? So I feel like that's really held things up here. So they're strategically trying to undo a lot of the damage and setback that happened with that. There's going to be all kinds of the upheavals on the earth plane are kind of keeping this, putting the date further. I feel like they had it planned even next year. And I'm getting like an air sign month, June, or could even be October of next year. But I feel like with a whole bunch of setbacks, it could be like push it another year. So I'm going to say maybe a year and a bit. This could be like not next June, but the June after, that kind of thing. Yeah, they'll get on their feet again, though. It looks like all of those setbacks are actually going to get righted. And then all of a sudden, they got all kinds of really positive activity, that 8 of Wands. And all of a sudden, things go really smooth. Part of what's been holding everything up is there's a big karmic lesson going on with the human race. And I feel like really that's holding everything up because we have to learn a big lesson. So all of that's going to get changed. And then this really takes off And by then it looks like it'll be fully in the hands of the good guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and do like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already.